skadoosh. Okay, so let's get this out of the way first. I never watched this franchise.
It's not really a franchise because we disown the second movie.
It's still a franchise.
No. It's a movie.
You can buy merchandise, it's a franchise.
I'm fairly sure that's not how it works, but alright, go ahead.
Either way, I did not watch it until about a month ago.
Yeah.
Give or take.
Roundabout.
Because we knew this new movie was coming out. And they made me watch the first one. And I will say, I like this remake better than I like the original movie. And I rarely ever say that about a remake.
Being a musical makes everything better.
I mean, yeah. That being said, this movie was fetch.
God, Gretchen, stop trying to make fetch happen.
No.
I'm too Janice to say that line, I'm sorry.
So, if you've seen the original, it's the same plot. Like, literally, it's a remake. The plot is exactly the same. It's just a rehashing 20 years later.
Yeah. God, I'm old. There's songs now.
For, it was a book turned movie, turned musical, turned another book, turned
another musical movie. Which apparently they cut some of the songs from the musical. I am literally only familiar with Apex Predator and Revenge Party from the musical. So those two were there. I do think Katie sings Apex Predator in the musical, and here it's Janice and Damien. That might be how it is in the musical. I will be perfectly honest. Again, I don't know. I literally only know those two songs. I know them out of context. I don't know who sings them in the stage show.
Yeah, and we'll have to see if we can find a bootleg.
Yeah, if anyone, has a recording laying around,
yeah.
Or tickets,
So, for those who have been living under a bridge for 20 years, the entire film is basically about a girl who's trying to fit in because she's basically a foreign exchange kid who was homeschooled, and she starts school and meets the popular girl.
This movie does a lot more to characterize than the original did. Because here, Katie actually gets, a song about why she wants to do this. There's more expounding instead of just, grew up in Kenya, now she's here. And that's it. We don't get to know, how she felt about it going in and all that.
I think that's one of the things I love about this specific version of Mean Girls. All of the characters are fleshed out way more. Even the teachers.
I will never forgive you for making me nearly cry over Gretchen Wieners. How dare you?
Wiener.
But, Gretchen's song, to skip to the middle of the movie, Gretchen's song, as someone who grew up socialized as a female, we see how well that worked, but regardless.
And someone who, mother.
Yeah, and someone whose mother put me on Nutrisystem when I was 12. Thanks for the trauma.
I wasn't bringing that part out. I was more talking about, in the same light as Gretchen.
I feel like it's a valid point to bring up, so much. Now, in Gretchen's case, it is said in the song that her mother still tells her she's beautiful, so at least Gretchen has that support system. But, her friends are criticizing her and everyone around her is criticizing her. And it really makes you stop and think of, yeah, we laugh at these girls in the movie, but Gretchen's been through some shit. She needs some therapy because it's not okay how she feels about herself.
Yeah, but at the end of the movie, she finally stands up for herself.
Yeah, I love Gretchen. I stand Gretchen.
But, like I said, so basically she falls in with the popular group, but at the same time falls with the losers group, and ends up playing advocate for both sides. But surely she ends up slowly becoming more and more like the popular girls. Basically, letting herself fly.
Honestly, I think we can get just right into it. Everybody knows the plot of Mean Girls.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to rehash the plot.
I'm talking about for that one random dude who watches my channel that doesn't watch chick flicks.
Go fucking watch the movie. Just stop lying to yourself. Go watch the goddamn movie.
But Damien this time around is a much better character and not just a gay cliche.
And also, I knew a Damien in school. Michael.
I dated
bestie. Love you. Like, literally, I knew a guy who was... He was Damien. Like, flamboyant as hell, chorus dude. Michael, you know who you are. He was great.
We never really dated, but I had a relationship that was really weird with... I'll explain that off camera.
I nearly dated a Damien, except for this one was very bisexual, even though everybody assumed he was gay, because if he were any more of a flame, he'd have been a fire hazard. And that is a line from him.
What the fuck?
That was the one I told you about who had the twin sister, who they were fucking identical except for the boobs. Yeah, identical twins can be separate genders. I did not know that until I met them, because they were identical. Anyway.
But, so, you know, the plot, like I said, the plot, if you've seen the original, you've seen this version, is literally just like, you know, like the Friday the 13th remake.
Yeah.
It's the same plot.
Shot-for-shot remake.
I wouldn't say shot for shot.
Yeah, almost.
Speaking of shots, oh my god, that opening cinematography. There is a lot of one-shot camera angles that have way too good of effects for this type of movie. And literally the way everything's set up for, like, the opening of the movie is, like, set up like a garage.
Mm-hmm. And Damien and Janice are, like, recording a TikTok.
Yeah, they're supposed...
Because that's very clearly the TikTok UI that they kept.
Yeah. So they're doing that, and then it just opens up straight to, you know, Kenya within the same single shot, and it goes for a while.
It's so good.
Oh my god, I love that type of shot.
And the transition shots from the garage to the savannah, and then from, like, the tent to the front lawn of the high school. Like, the transition shots were great.
They really thought that out.
Yeah. Like, I mean, this movie is kind of Tina Fey's baby, so I was expecting good. Speaking of Tina Fey, yeah, absolutely confirmed that teacher was doing the principal. Knew it all along.
I mean, I would do both, so...
I mean, same. Like, both of those people, like, yeah.
Tim Meadows is cute. I've always had a crush on him.
Absolutely.
Especially with Even Stevens.
Yeah. He was great.
Anyway, the music is good. I don't want to, you know, sing any because of copyright. But the album's great. The music actually made me feel more... And to be honest, you should feel for Regina throughout the movie.
Yeah, we kind of see a different side of her. Like, her mom is trying so hard to give her confidence, but what she's actually doing is giving her a complex.
Yeah.
Like, and honestly, Regina's mom gets a lot of shit, but I genuinely think she's one of the best chick flick moms.
Well,
because she tries. She is being very supportive, and they don't have the line in this one that they do in the original that I really loved, that, especially in the early 2000s, came across as, oh my god, she's such a shit parent, but... Then you grow up and have kids and you're like, no, she's actually a real one for this. Like, is there alcohol in this? Oh, no, honey, no. What kind of mom do you think I am? Why? Do you want some? Because I'd rather you do it here. Like, that is such a real parent take. Like, if my kids are going to get blackout drunk, I'd rather them do it in the house where I can supervise their dumb drunk asses than out somewhere where they're going to end up in a ditch.
But in the original version, Regina is just a bitch throughout the entire movie.
Yeah.
Even after, you know, she... you know, gets her revenge and everything is settled, there's no closure with her character Mainly because in the original, once she gets run over, she doesn't have any other scenes.
Yeah, she's kind of just...
But in this movie, there's actual closure for the characters. Mm-hmm. They recorded a scene where they, hash things out by themselves in the bathroom at the end of the movie.
Even though Regina's high on painkillers.
But, and in the original, you don't see her really fix any of the relationships.
Yeah.
It just implied that she apologized to everybody.
Yeah.
But in this, you actually see the implication, that she actually is sorry for the things that she does.
Yeah, like when Katie apologizes for the bus thing, she's like, don't apologize for things that aren't your fault. And, like, it's just... Regina is so much more likable in this. And also, I think this is just a product of Hollywood transitioning, but I cannot be the only person who noticed that the people in this movie look like actual people. Like, there was a variety, like, in the background, it was a good mix of people, like...
Everyone doesn't look like the same cut and paste.
It does not look like they took a bunch of Abercrombie and Hollister models and shoved them on a set. Like, and Regina George and all of the other plastics in the original movie were, like, that stick thin, skinny thin that was, like, all the rage in the 2000s. And, weight is...
I never understood.
Let me talk. And weight is still a thing. Like, that's always and forever going to be a thing. Like, in the early 20th century, it was, you're too skinny, you're never going to get a man like that. And since, like, the 50s on, it's been, you're too fat, you're never going to get a man like that. That's always going to be a thing. But they're actually starting at a reasonable weight now. Like, they actually look... And I don't mean to say this to be mean to, like, the actresses who did play in the originals, because a lot of that was societal pressure, and it still is now for some people who were that thin. Like, they looked more like models than, like, actual people you would see on the street. And these actresses in this new movie actually look like human beings that you could just walk down the street and see someone who looks like that. Like, so it's... Regina is... All of them look like a normal size.
Yeah.
Like, I would absolutely believe those are real people and they don't live in the gym. And I would like to add a disclaimer to that. I'm not saying it's bad if you do look like that. Some people just are built like that. I had a best friend in high school who was 90 pounds soaking wet. She looked like a twig. Ate like a horse. I don't know how it works. Metabolisms are weird. Metabolisms are weird. But, like, yeah. It's, like, there's a huge variety. And speaking of variety... Damien is not the token gay this time. There is, like,
I was waiting for this.
I could go on for hours about queer representation in early 2000s media. But, like, Janice is actually a lesbian in this one. Like, we all remember in the original, that was just a nasty rumor that Regina started, and she was actually implied to be straight, maybe bisexual. In this one, Janice is definitely a lesbian. Still possibly bisexual, but definitely likes girls. Like, that is definitely a thing. And there were also, like, other background characters that were very clearly queer.
Including someone who turned out to be Damien's new partner at
someone dancing with Damien. The girl Janice was with, like, who looked fantastic, by the way. Like, that suit, that hair. Man. Anyway, like, just the picture of Janice and who I'm assuming was her implied got-off-screen girlfriend in that scene.
Yeah.
Like, that is too much gay for my brain to comprehend in that one picture. Like, it's just fantastic. I love them. But there were actually, and then there's a couple of scenes where you can see in, was it the horny band geeks who had the two dudes making out?
It was.
Okay, yeah. I was about to say it was the horny theater nerds. Yeah, no, they said band geeks, theater nerds, and burnouts, and every time I looked at her, because, like, that was either her or the people she hung out with.
I never hung out with band geeks. Ever. I was the...
Probably because they were too busy fucking each other in the band music instrument store.
More than likely, but I was not a band person, and I don't know why you keep implying it.
Because I know band people, and you have that vibe.
But I don't. I can't play an instrument to save my life. I've never been able to play an instrument.
I could have seen you as a flag girl, though.
No. Do I look like I have the coordination for that?
Yeah, you're right. You would smack yourself in the face
Or
in 2 seconds. Fly off and break a tuba.
Like, the fuck? No, I was a chorus girl, and I was in theater, but no, I was never into...
And strangely enough, I wasn't a band kid either. Orc, dork, and chorus nerd.
Orc, dork.
That's what they called us. My orchestra was also way off the other end of the school from the other music classes because even the band kids didn't want to be next to us. That was the joke.
Well, you also went to one of the poorest schools in Virginia.
Okay, look. All I'm saying is I was radicalized early on by seeing the post-segregation effects of going to what historically was the black school district, alright?
Anyway, if you are a fan of the original, you'll be a fan of this. It's literally the same movie. It's not, other than, implementing the music into it, which I really like a lot of the songs. I think my favorite song would have to be Revenge Party.
I want Janice's outfit. I might grow my hair out just so I can do my hair like that. I want a perm so I can actually curl my hair like Janice's.
And then you're going to complain that it's too long.
Yeah, probably. Maybe I'll just shave it into a mohawk.
And then you're going to complain that it's too short.
No, I won't. I like it short. I've been complaining when it grows out.
Either way, go check it out. I enjoyed it.
I do have one thing to say.
I love the cameo at the end of the movie.
Lindsay, you queen. I feel personally victimized by the cutting out of the line, "Who here feels like they've been personally victimized by Regina George?" That is my one solid complaint. I'm sure I would have more if I had actually seen the musical and was more familiar with the songs that apparently got cut and shifted. But as someone who doesn't know the musical, that is my one solid complaint. I wanted that line, I was waiting for that line, and I was sorely disappointed.
Well, that being said, I honestly 8 out of 10 personally.
10 out of 10. Let's go see it again.
Maybe.
Just not today, though, because it's cold as shit and I want to go back outside.
And I'm sleepy.
Anyway, it's so good. I love it so much.
Thank you for
Janice,
watching.
you queen.
By the way, we're recording this at home for the same reason she just said.
It's cold enough to freeze the balls off a brass monkey outside. No.
What?
You thank my dad for that one.
God damn it, Dad. Thank you for watching.